Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
Welcome to Saturday afternoon baseball on Fox Sports Midwest from St. Louis. Another warm day expected. The Cardinals hosting the Pittsburgh Pirates as they close out the month of June. Glad you're with us. Rick Horton with Al Roboski. Game one here last night. The Pirates really thumped the Cardinals. A rough outing for Adam Wainwright. Today, the Cardinals are going to counter with a guy that's been very solid in their rotation, Lance Lynn.
Well, Lance Lynn is 10-3. He has lost his last two starts against the American Leaguers, but he's back in control in the Central Division where he is absolutely dominated. He's already defeated the Pirates twice this year, and he just has to get his fastball command back.
Couple of roster moves for the Cardinals. Some changes in their bullpen.
Sanchez and Freeman were sent to Memphis. Clado and Browning come up. We've seen Clado, the big hard-throwing right-hander, in the past, and Browning will be making his major league debut, a lefty.
Carlos Beltran has made a lot of contributions so far this year and has had a couple monumental moments. We'll look at those when we come back. Our young fans being very creative about how to stay cool here today. Carlos Beltran, a couple of big moments this year. First, it's steal number 300 to go along with 300 career home runs. The only switch hitter to do that. Last night, it was career hit number 2,000 for Beltran. Sean Green is next on the list. Rough night for the Cardinals, but a very nice moment for the fans and Carlos Beltran. That should send him and will send him to the All-Star game. It's July 10th on Fox. More from Busch after this. Birds on the wrong end of a 14-5 loss last night. Pedro Alvarez did damage for Pittsburgh. One of a few guys this year who have been Cardinal killers. Alvarez had only one hit last night, but it was a bases-clearing double. He entered the year with just 8 RBIs against the Cardinals, but has 11 already this year in just 7 games. Brian LaHair is still an unknown around baseball, but the Cardinals know him far too well. The Cubs slugger, in just 7 games this season, has 10 hits with 5 home runs. Corey Hart has always been a thorn in the Cardinals' side. 16 career home runs versus the Redbirds. In 6 games already this season, the Brewers slugger has 3 home runs. In 6 games against the Cardinals during May, Dan Uggla hit safely and scored in each contest. The Power Pack second baseman hit the longest home run at Busch this year and has 7 RBIs. The I-70 rivalry is over for the season, and that's good for St. Louis because Mike Moustakas killed the Cards. 12 hits in 6 games, including 3 home runs. Game 2 against Pedro Alvarez and the Pirates just around the corner on Fox Sports Midwest. Our game right around the corner. Buster Posey and Yadier Molina both having outstanding seasons behind the plate.
Tomorrow we'll find out which one is the starter for the National League All-Star Game. If you look at those raw numbers, it should be Yadier Molina. Won 4 straight Gold Gloves, and it'll be 4 consecutive All-Star appearances. He's really emerged as a leader with this ball club, both offensively and defensively. There's nothing Yadier can't do on the baseball field.
Yachty not in the lineup here this afternoon, and we just want to see him in the lineup on July 10th at the All-Star Game. Cardinals hoping to rebound from a tough loss yesterday. Our first pitch is next on Fox Sports Midwest. Midwest is brought to you by a reminder from Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Designate a driver. By your Mid-America Chevy dealer, the #1 selling brand in St. Louis. Find us at stlchevy.com. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Center, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. And by Steak and Shake, just no equal. It's Mizzou Day at the ballpark. And also Christian Day. And it's also a hot day. Fans trying to keep cool here this afternoon, and the Cardinals hoping to rebound from a loss here last night at the hands of the Pirates, who played very well this month. Crowd still filing in. There was a sellout here yesterday. And the temperatures still right around 100 degrees.
Actually, it's quite cool at 96. But will be over 100 as this game progresses. So hydrate, stay cool.
That young man is going to have a nice afternoon at the ballpark. The Cardinals take the field. Lance Lynn begins his warm-up tosses. Here's who he will be facing. Our Southwest Pirates batting order. Alex Presley, a pinch home run here last night, will lead off. Jose Tabata will be in right field. Andrew McCutcheon, a big night, will be in center. Garrett Jones, the first baseman. Neil Walker, the switch hitter, plays second. Very dangerous bat. Pedro Alvarez has hit the Cardinals well. Clint Varmus, the shortstop. Michael McHenry will catch and bat eighth, and Jeff Karstens will pitch. Lance Lynn, a couple of so-so starts in interleague play, back out on the mound here this afternoon.
Lost his last 2 starts, but still tied for second in Major League Baseball with 10 wins. 4-1, ERA at 2.59 and 5 starts here at Busch Stadium, and he pitches very well here against the Central Division opponents.
In fact, he had 2 very good starts against the Pirates. The Cardinals played a lot of Central Division foes early on. And this is April 20th. Lance Lynn, after giving up a leadoff home run to Alex Presley, shut the door. Then on May 2nd, he also pitched well again against the Pirates. He beat the Cubs in between. This time he went 6 2/3, gave up 2 runs in that game with 6 strikeouts.
And one thing I think back then, he was using his fastball a lot more effectively, getting ahead with that pitch, just attacking the strike zone. Got away from that a little bit, and I'm sure he'll get back to doing that. On a hot day, you want to be out there and be efficient.
Cardinals defense is 4th in the National League. Holiday, Jay, and Beltran in the outfield. Jay sure has solidified the Cardinals outfield defense. Descalzo getting the start at shortstop. Schumacher at second. Craig and Freese at the corners. And Tony Cruz will catch Lance Lynn, our Dobbs Cardinals defense. Cardinal fans hoping for a better performance from the Redbirds here this afternoon. They had been playing well. A good road trip for St. Louis. 10-game homestand started yesterday. Pirates winning game 1 14-5.
Doesn't mean the Cardinals can't come back and win this series, but they must win today, and it starts with starting pitching.
And pitch 1 is a strike on the inside corner to Presley.
Presley made his presence known last night as he pinch hit his 6th home run. And followed, that was back-to-back home runs right after Clint Barmas hit one.
Setting up inside, but hitting the outside corner.
Like to see that. A couple fastballs in the strike zone. I don't know about you, Rick, but I think a lot of people are making way too much to do about his innings total right now.
100% agree.
He's still under 100, and the reference is his career high was 2 years ago in the minor leagues, 164. Well, he's a long way from that. He's just at 92 innings pitched, and I think he just had 2 rough outings, and he'll bounce back.
Breaking ball is hit on the ground to Craig, and he retires Presley. So a good start for Lance Lynn. Well, it's very natural for us to try to find reasons, and sometimes the reasons are a bit of a reach, but you're going to have moments where you have ups and downs over the course of a long season. You do that as a team, and you do that individually.
After he lost in Detroit, he kind of said, hey, that's going to happen. You know, and if you can every 14 starts you have a bad one, so be it. But then he followed up in Kansas City, and the shame there was his offense gave him a lot of run support, and he didn't get the loss in that game, got a no decision, but you just have to bounce back.
Jose Tabata, 345 in his career against the Cardinals.
Only 230 on the season, but as you said, 345 against the Cardinals, and he hit them well again last night.
Defensive swing produces another ground ball and another out for Lance Lynn. Good start.
Always love it when things are slowed down. You can see the grip right there on the breaking ball. And there's that defensive swing. As a tire service bringing you that slow-mo.
Nice look.
I love that.
You see him off balance. You see the late break. You see the spin, the grip. Outstanding. Swing and a miss for Andrew McCutcheon. He was unbelievable here last night. On base 5 times.
Very exciting player. And he's been consistent all year. Last night was the first time this season he did some damage against the Cardinals.
He had hit Adam Wainwright well in his career. 2 for 3 last night, so batting close to 500 against Wainwright in his career, but he also hit the Cardinal relievers, including a home run in the 9th. Not a big guy, but he has power. And he hits very well here at the new Busch Stadium.
Time you can have a higher average than Ryan Howard, who just seems like owns this place.
368 seems low for him, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe it should be 638. Maybe that's a typo. Big swing there. Lynn tried to throw the fastball by him up. McCutchen, one of those players that really has a lot of tools beyond just what he does with the bat. Runs well, 14 stolen bases, and we also saw his defense last night.
He's a very good all-around player.
The 1-2.
Lance Lynn, when he's throwing well, he can really elevate the ball and get hitters to chase it. All starts with the fastball down in the zone, and then gets a couple strikes on you. You can elevate it and change your eye angle.
Lynn has his sign from Tony Cruz. Hits his spot. McCutchen spoils it. Tony Cruz getting the start behind the plate today. Yadier Molina and Rafael Furcal, both because of the heat, getting an off day here today.
This is the 12th start for Tony Cruz in the year behind the plate.
Broken bat hit for McCutchen.
Good at bat. Lance Lynn didn't give in to him. And good hitters have that ability. If they've been up there for a while, they can expand the zone a little bit and hit the ball well. Right off the end of the bat. So it just lifted over the infield, but it's going to fall in front of the outfielders.
Nothing wrong with that pitch.
No.
Garrett Jones has hit over 400 his last 6 games here in St. Louis. Jones had 3 hits last night, actually 2. Casey McGee came in for him and had a RBI hit of his own. Jones homered in the 6th, and the power of the Pirates has come out of nowhere.
4 home runs last night. Now they lead the National League in road home runs, 1 more than St. Louis.
$14 for 18 in stolen bases is Andrew McCutchen. Big lead. And Lynn noticed it. In case you're wondering, Tony Cruz has thrown out 2 out of 7 base runners.
And the last 3 starts for Tony Cruz, he has a catcher ERA of 2.61. Very good.
And we like that number, don't we? What does a catcher do in his partnership with the starting pitcher?
Sometimes it will get skewed for a backup catcher because he might, one of those days where you kind of like, oh, you get the 5th starter, you kind of get this, you get that. But really, Tony Cruz was matching up very well in 2 of those last 3 with Wainwright.
Line drive base hit over the head of Descalzo. Holiday hustles it back into Schumacher. 2 2-out hits for the Pirates.
Garrett Jones, when he first came up, he had surprising power, but it seemed like he was really a pull hitter. And here he does a nice job of going with a pitch that's down and away. There's the low ball hitter. But still, that's a little excessive.
Neil Walker, good RBI man. Father was a St. Louis Cardinal. Tom Walker.
Played with him briefly in '71 season. He was a left-handed reliever. He was competition. Walker kind of has the work ethic of what you think of the blue collar, Pittsburgh, hard-working. He's a Pittsburgh native and very well liked.
Careful here, 2-0. Off-speed pitch, he swings through it. Lynn's delivery, probably call it 3/4 delivery, and the key for him is to still make sure he stays on top, particularly his breaking ball out.
Just, as you say, you can drop down and everything, but your fingers have to stay on top of the ball. Good fastball, spotted well. Shown in previous starts, and I'm sure we'll show it again as the game goes along. The opponent's batting average decreases, and like a lot of the Pirates, Walker's hot too.
The 2-2 misses away. Full count to Walker. Lance Lynn trying to work his way through. The Pirate first.
See a lot of times that things will fly open for Lance Lynn, like that last delivery. And really, when you're trying to make a purpose pitch on 2-2, so far outside, you don't really get advantage of it.
Changeup misses away, so he loses Walker. All will be forgotten if Lance Lynn is able to retire Pedro Alvarez, but he has really hit the Cardinals well this year. 11 RBIs against the Redbirds. 381 in his career against St. Louis. And he's a guy that struggled mightily a year ago.
Under 200 a year ago. He's only batting .224, but 14 home runs and 40 RBIs. You make a mistake, he can hurt you. But you make good pitches, you should get him out.
Alvarez hit just 191 a year ago and did not hit the Cardinals very well either. Numbers at 209 of 2010 and 11, but this year different story.
I think Cardinal pitching kept him in the big leagues earlier this season. He wasn't hitting anybody but St. Louis.
Talked to John Wayner, their color analyst for the Pirates telecast, about Alvarez, and he said he's just one of those guys that when he's hot, he hits anything, and when he's not, he can't hit anything. And it has a lot to do with his balance. He's changed his stance at the plate 2 or 3 times, and he just doesn't really know his swing that well yet.
Young player, second overall pick in the country, and had success when he first got to the big leagues, and then it caved in on him last year. There you can see getting underneath that breaking ball, and you don't stay on top of it, it becomes a frisbee, and really not even close to the strike zone. Ooh.
Good fastball from Lynn.
Ooh, sure he wanted that pitch and looked like it was right there. Well, that's tough when you don't get that call.
2-1 with the bases loaded.
Yeah, 2-2 to 3-1 now. Now you got to come into him.
Lynn stepping off. You could almost sense that maybe he's still agitated a bit and realize that that's not a good swing thought.
No, and smart to step off, regroup, resettle.
No place to put him. Everybody will be moving here.
merry-go-round. 3-2, 2 outs.
McCutchen will make that wide turn in third. He won't be moving too quickly.
He doesn't need to. But
He
to make
sure
sure he's out of the firing line. And last 3-2 pitch, it was a changeup. What will it be to Alvarez?
Fans urging Lynn on. The 3-2 is hit deep to right. This is long gone. A grand slam for Alvarez in the Pirates' first. And just like that, it's 4-0 Pittsburgh. And all of this has come with 2 outs.
2 weak little ground balls, and throws the ball right down the middle on the 3-2 pitch. Plaza Tire shows you our replay and over the Cardinal bullpen, and a grand slam. No doubt about that one. Second career grand slam, the 9th home run that Lynn has allowed this year, and the Cardinals are going to have to battle back again.
Alvarez already had 11 RBIs against St. Louis on the season. Now he has 15.
And the temperature just feels like it got 10 degrees hotter to the Cardinal players.
I'll say. Clint Barmas is the shortstop this afternoon for Pittsburgh. Veteran, spent years with the Rockies. Got his average up over 200 yesterday. Little bloop into center field. John Jay has it, but the damage has been done. Pedro Alvarez, another big blow. 4-0 Pittsburgh. Fans still entering, being handed cards and invites from the players to join the players for Christian Day after the game here this afternoon. Our Southwest Cardinals batting order: Skip Schumacher, John Jay, and Matt Holliday. 1, 2, 3. Carlos Beltran got his 2000th career hit here last night. No bad cleanup. Craig Freese, Descalzo, Tony Cruz, and Lance Lynn. The right-hander for the Pirates, 0-2, Jeff Karstens.
Making his second start since coming off the disabled list, and he was on for about 2 months. Originally went on with a shoulder issue, inflammation, and then he experienced a hip flexor while he was on the DL. His last start wasn't very good. 5 innings, 11 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned.
21-38 in his career. 1-2 against the Cardinals.
So it's a uphill battle, but not one that is totally unreasonable.
Hard hit to center. McCutcheon's back on the move to the track and makes the play. Very graceful. You've seen the graceful center fielder McCutcheon. Tabata has 6 outfield assists. He's in right, Presley in left. Alvarez, Barmas, Walker, and Jones on the infield. The catcher is Michael McHenry. Jeff Karstens, the pitcher. Our Dobbs Pirates defense. John Jay has had success against Karstens. 6 for 13 in the lineup, and lining this one down the left field line, and it's slicing foul. Schumacher retired. A good at bat for him.
It's 5 for 13, and watch him stay right on this ball. Up there, it's eye level, knows it's going to break, but ideally you want that to break down below the knees, and he hit it well, but McCutcheon is a very good defensive outfielder, and he could fly.
Ground ball handled by the first baseman Jones. So just like the Pirates, first 2 Cardinals make outs here in the bottom of the first. The Pirates erupted soon thereafter. Base hit, walk, and a grand slam for Pedro Alvarez. 4-0 Pittsburgh.
Looks so simple, and now you get into dangerous part of the order is Matt Holliday. For his last 11 games, 489, 2 home runs, and 12 RBIs. Had a great month of May, and following it up here in June.
A little late on the fastball. 0-1 to Matt.
That was the 5 home run swing.
Right. There isn't a ballpark in America that can hold Matt Holliday if he hits one.
You know, you really, when you think about Matt Holliday, he's not a home run hitter.
Right.
He's a high average line drive hitter that hits the ball so hard that if he gets it up in the air, it will go out of any ballpark.
You think of somebody like, say, Adam Dunn would be a classic guy. You'd say that is a home run hitter.
Right.
He's going to go deep. He's going to strike out. He's going to hit for kind of a medium average, maybe 250.
He's the Dave Kingman.
Right.
Well, I knew something about home run hitting too.
I'll say. 1-2 to Holliday. Slider misses. Matt has had 27 multi-hit games.
Just very steady. His 2 full seasons wearing the Cardinal uniform. He's been an all-star. What, 5th or 6th or so last time we saw in the balloting, but be interesting to see if he's selected.
Walk number 39 on the year for Holliday brings in Carlos Beltran. See if the Cardinals can make that hurt.
You know, a lot of times a third place hitter can get in trouble by expanding his zone, but we're always talking about the protection in front and behind, and right now Beltran's providing a lot of protection.
Big year for Carlos Beltran. 7-game hitting streak. In fact, he's had an RBI in each of those 7 games. First in homers, first in RBIs, 9th in average in the National League. And really a nice moment for Carlos here last night.
Hadn't played that long his first year in St. Louis, but I'm sure he was touched. Very nice giveaway, the Beltran jersey last night, and then he rewarded the 45,000 plus with his 2,000 hit and his 60th RBI. He's He's kind of getting in selective company in Cardinal history with his first half.
Sure is. The average, home runs, the RBIs.
Outfielder is extremely deep.
Beltran can cut the lead in half with one swing. Two and two now on Beltran, and here's some credence to what you're talking about. How big a first half he's having.
Cardinals with 20 or more home runs, 60 RBIs, 300 average at the All-Star break.
Just
Leaves that.
Yeah, just 6 players have done it. Good names on that list.
Yep.
Beltran strikes out. Cardinals strand one. Trail by 4. From some of the most popular seats in the all-inclusive areas. You get a great view of the game, plus all the food and drinks included for one great price. Get your all-inclusive tickets at Cardinals.com. 4-0 Pirates through 1. The big hit, Pedro Alvarez, a grand slam in the first off of Lance Lynn, who's going to try to settle things down here in the second. 8-9-1 against Lynn.
Right, that's all you can do. You know, the first inning's over, you're trailing by 4, but you can't shut down the Pirates and allow your team to come from behind. Not the way you envision your day to give up all the runs, but it's over and done with. Now make it, you know, go as many innings as you possibly can and give up no more.
Big swing from McHenry. 0-2. McHenry on a 5-game hitting streak. Had a few starts with Barajas dealing with a knee injury. Barajas caught here in game 1 and was 0 for 5, so he's getting the afternoon off.
Clint Hurdle knew about McHenry from the days in Colorado.
And McHenry and Clint Hurdle will both be speaking after the game today. I have a chance to interview both of those guys in our program after the ball game. The 2-2. Don't really see any glaring issues with Lance Lynn in terms of velocity. Maybe a couple of bad pitch locations, but nothing really extraordinarily off kilter for him, would you say?
Not like he's lost 6-7 miles off velocity. The breaking ball has been very inconsistent and losing the release point on it, getting underneath it. But I've just seen where the fastball command isn't quite as sharp either.
The 3-2. Swing and a miss. He strikes out McHenry.
His last start at Kansas City, he only had 2 strikeouts. It was his, the least amount of the season. He's been striking out a batter per inning.
So he's able to strike out McHenry on a 3-2 pitch. He throws a 3-2 pitch to Alvarez, who has probably eliminated changeup and curveball because he's struggling with the location, so probably looking dead red, and he caught up with it. Well, that's the problem with not having command of your off-speed.
Yeah, and I think a little difference too was if they would have thrown that same pitch where he did to Alvarez, I think he strikes him out or pops him up. But he got it down to a low ball hitter, and the rest of it's a second grand slam of his career.
Your hitters talk about being able to eliminate certain pitches and not have to worry about him because you don't think the pitcher's going to get you with that, or he's not going to throw a strike with it.
Sure, and that's a big part of hitting. I might have 4 pitches, but if he only locates one of them, then you can eliminate the others, especially until you get 2 strikes.
That pitch well located. 2 strikeouts in the inning. Tune in before tomorrow's Cardinals game for Toyota Cardinals Live. We'll have the Sunday Sevens counting down the Cardinals' help wanted pitchers. Toyota Cardinals Live tomorrow at 12:30, followed by the Cardinals Pirates at 1 o'clock on Fox Sports Midwest. Hydrating.
Very important. And not everybody. A lot of people take that advice, Ricky, but maybe not
with the proper substance.
With the proper substance for, hydration.
I knew where you were going with that. Water's still the best.
Oh, yes. So I've been told.
Two 2-0 to Alex Presley, who bounced out in the first.
As I look over, I have water, and you have.
I have Diet Coke right now.
Oh, that's horrible. That's not proper hydration, but consider the source.
I'm going to go get a water between innings just to make you happy, Al.
Thank you. Keep you healthy.
3-1 to Alex Presley.
Got the fan and the mister going. See how he loses that release point, and even if a hitter wants to swing at it, it's so far out of the strike zone they're not even tempted.
Two-out walk to Presley brings in Tabata. He bounced out in the first inning. And there goes Presley. Here's the throw from Cruz on the money. Not in time.
Strong throw, but they stole that base off of Lynn. Well, Tony Cruz made it a lot closer than what I thought. Very strong throw.
Quick release, too. Right on the money.
Bang, bang play, but the hand gets right to the bag, right ahead of the tag.
Ground ball to the right side. Schumacher retires top of top. Decent inning for Lance Lynn. Back on track. On Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by MyKiaSt.Louis.com. And right now at Jack in the Box, you can try the new Chipotle Chicken Club Combo for just $4.99 plus tax. Always plenty of activity at the ballpark.
There's a little cutie.
All ages welcome.
Had a chance to see the new sea lion sound at the zoo. Recommend that to everybody. Great addition.
You sold me. I'm going. Alan Craig, David Freese, and Daniel Descalzo in the Cardinals' second. Craig has hit the Pirates well in his career, .394. And he was 2 for 4 here last night, including a home run. He seems comfortable at the plate.
He's hit at every level. When he first came to the big leagues, you know, you kind of looked the way he kind of pointed the barrel of the bat towards the pitcher, you know, kind of wrapped it around, standing at the ready, and you kind of said, well, that's going to be way too long of a swing. Worked a little bit with Mark McGwire to kind of shorten it up a little bit. And people make a mistake. Ooh. Wow. It's a little wide.
Didn't like that call. And there's a look at our new Cardinal pitchers.
Cueto, the right-hander, we've seen him before. And then we'll have a chance to see Browning, the lefty, number 62, make his major league debut. Not a hard thrower by any means, but supposed to have the ability to throw his breaking ball with good command and retire left-handed batters. And interesting to me that he was the only Memphis Redbird to make the Pacific Coast League All-Star team.
Cardinals had 6 AA All-Stars and 3 or 4 at their lower levels. But as you mentioned, just Browning at the AAA level.
And Sam Freeman is going to be much better off the next time he comes up here with the experience that he gained, his first exposure to the big league level. And Sanchez, we all know he's got electric stuff, so it's just a matter of throwing strikes, harnessing that talent.
And in fairness, Matt Adams would have been a AAA All-Star had he not spent so much time at the big league level. He actually had 2 more home runs last night for Memphis.
Yeah, good point.
He was tearing it up the first month, not really getting enough at-bats here.
Yeah, 340, 9 home runs, something like 37 RBIs or something. And at the time of promotion, and you know, he's going to be a great player, a very good player, just not quite ready yet either.
Freese is jammed a bit and retired. He has an 8-game hitting streak on the line here this afternoon. 2 up, 2 down for St. Louis. And that brings in Daniel Descalzo, getting his 3rd start at shortstop this season.
Very interesting to me. He's 0 for his last 11, and he's starting at shortstop, and not Tyler Green. But when you look at this lineup, it looks like they try to get as many left-handed bats in there as possible.
Strange to me that he's 0 for his last 11. He seems as if he's been comfortable at the plate, swinging the bat well over the past couple of weeks.
Played very good defense at second base, and lefties in Karsten's career have hit 300, righties 268, but this year lefties 294 and right-handers 400. That's a small sample this year because he's been on the disabled list for so much time.
Just his 5th start of the season. Jeff Karstens. Slider down and in, and he did go, said the home plate umpire DJ Rayburn. So 3 strikeouts for Karsten. McCutchen. When we come back. Has had a very good series with the bat. Some big hits. Singleton scored in the first inning here tonight. Been a tough guy to get out.
He was going 167 prior to last night's ball game, and he was 4 for 5. And he just hit the home run there late in the ball game. He's been crushing left-handed pitching. Hit that one off of Zepchinski, and his first hit in 5 plate appearances off of Lance Lim gives him a 5 for 6 in this series.
26 RBIs in the month of June for McCutchen. I guess the good news is he's leading off.
And as hot as Holiday and Beltran have been in the month of June, it's no contest between their numbers and McCutchen. may be looking at the player of the month. Not very big at all, is it?
Sure isn't. Very good athlete. Three key players here at the ballpark this afternoon. Really the guys you expect to do well, and they are.
Yes, and like I said, if you were looking to who would be the player of the month, Holiday and Beltran have to be candidates, but the winner would be McCutchen of those three.
Again, Lynn does not get the call. McCutchen 5'10", 185. The 2-2. Again, Lynn around the breaking ball, and the more he throws it, the more he shows that it's not working.
Yes.
Pirate hitters are going to get smarter about that.
Right, and you're talking about just eliminate that pitch, and because they don't think he can throw it for strike. And the fastball becomes a lot more predictable.
Cardinals have had troubles in their bullpen this year. Jim Hayes is with us with a report on a guy that's actually having a pretty good season, Mitchell Boggs.
Yeah, with all the issues the bullpen has had, Mitchell Boggs has not been one of them. He's been consistently good. 7 straight scoreless appearances for Boggs. He's 6th in the National League in inherited runner scoring percentage at 10.5. And opponents are hitting just 122 against him with runners in scoring position. The key, according to Boggs, to being effective with runners aboard, quote, I don't think about it. That's what Boggs says, guys. He's keeping it simple.
Thanks, Jim. Not thinking. The motto for Mitchell Boggs.
It's not bad.
Doesn't mean he's not prepared.
No. It means he is prepared.
That's right.
And
confident.
Confident. Trust his muscle memory that he can have a repeatable delivery. Out there in the mound and you're trying to say, okay, I've got to do this and do that and get my arm angle here and then step there and do that, you're not going to be successful. You just have to trust your mechanics that you start in the right, winding up or whatever, you take the ball and start your motion and everything, that everything will stay together and you stay on top of the ball and you'll deliver the ball where you want it.
Anybody who's ever shot a free throw or tried to make a 4-foot putt understands what you're talking about. Thinking about it doesn't really help you.
No.
You have to be confident, have the muscle memory. Swing and a miss. There's a breaking ball. It hung a bit on the outside half, but Garrett Jones couldn't come up with it. Not a sharp breaker, but it got the job done.
See, even there, it kind of drops that and leads with the elbow so it stays up. You wouldn't recommend throwing that pitch that way very often. But got away with it.
The sensation for Lynn is almost as if your hand comes underneath the ball as you throw the side of it. Almost slips out of your hand.
And so it kind of spins on the same plane and doesn't have any tilt.
Pitch out. Nothing doing. Will Clint Hurdle go after the pitch out?
Well, Lance Lynn is very slow to the plate, and good base runners can get that jump. Like Presley, they can steal off the pitcher, and really Tony Cruz won't have much of a chance.
Not going. Swing and a miss. And you think Walker would be a good hit and run guy. Handles the bat well. McCutchen with 14 stolen bases.
You see him go first to third with the best of them. Got the big hole in the right side with Craig holding on McCutchen.
Not going. Walker fouls it off. We told the story before, but Walker His father, Tom Walker, you said you played with him, was almost going to go on the flight with Roberto Clemente. Unfortunately, the fatal crash when he was helping out the people in his native country of Nicaragua, and he told Tom Walker, Roberto told him at the last minute, why don't you just stay home and be with your family? So he said, I owe my very life to Roberto Clemente. And he's really been a family hero, and you could understand why.
Yeah, it was New Year's Eve. He said, you know, you stay there in Puerto Rico, and I'll take this flight. I'll handle it. And there was another pitch right there that Lance Lynn did not get the call from the home plate umpire.
Swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch there. This game is hinging on one particular pitch.
3-2, bases loaded, and turns into a second career grand slam for Alvarez. His 15th home run of the year, and his RBI total up to 44. And Buccos have the 4-0 lead. So they've hit 5 home runs in this series. So to pass the Cardinals in road home runs in the National League.
Mentioned Clemente, actually born in Puerto Rico,
yes,
but was going to Nicaragua.
Yes.
And one of those names, you look at Stargell and Wagner, Pie Trainer, some big names in Pirate history.
Talk.
44 RBIs on the season for Alvarez.
A lot of people think he'll never hit for a high average, but he's going to run into enough pitches to where he'll have good production. And unfortunately, he's done a lot of that production against the Cardinals.
And you're more apt to run into a pitch when you have the count in your favor.
Yes. Now, he missed with a 3-2 pitch to Walker on a changeup, so he got the fastball and knew what to do with it.
Really seemed to slow down in that delivery.
Yes, he did. Yeah, and you know, I know you're not a proponent of driving towards home plate, but he sure is spinning off.
No question.
First base.
No question.
Slowed that one down too to throw the strike on the breaking ball.
So another 3-2 pitch to Alvarez.
Trying to hold him close and still put himself in a good fielding position.
Fly ball to left. Holiday on the move. He's at the track and he's got it. Holiday goes a long way for that one. Lynn is able to retire Pedro Alvarez this time. Go to the bottom of the third, 4-0 Pittsburgh. you can hit like the pros and world champion Cardinals catcher Yadier Molina, because kids ages 15 and younger who enter with a ticket tomorrow will receive a 28-inch Yadier Molina Rawlings bat, courtesy of Rawlings. Get your tickets, and there's still some available at Cardinals.com.
And congratulations to Jim and Mary Phelan, celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary.
Start number 12 on the season for Tony Cruz. He was 2 for 3 on Wednesday in Miami, including his first major league home run.
And it looked like it was going to be a game winner until the implosion of the bullpen.
Drive to center. McCutchen on the move, and he can't get this one off the top of the wall. Cruz into second with a stand-up double, and he almost left the ballpark. Good effort by McCutchen on a bullet off the bat of Tony Cruz.
Tony Cruz, I think he's wanted to try for 3, and McCutchen goes back very well on balls. Jumps there and didn't quite get far enough back, and he thought he was probably a little half step or step closer, and so he crashes hard into the wall. His left fielder Presley backs up the ball and holds Cruz to a double. And Tony was thinking 3, but then made the wise choice to stay at 2.
So a bunting situation for Lance Lynn. His goal will be to try to bunt the ball to the third baseman Alvarez. Charging at first is Jones. The pitcher will deliver the ball, then charge. He squares and takes strike 1. Pirates defense holding Cruz close at second base. That's the shortstop Barmas, who has that chore. And there's the bunt, and it is to the third baseman. Perfectly done. Sacrifice 5-4 advances Cruz to third.
Pick up this run. Pecking away. Get right back in this game. Nice job by Lance Lynn.
You can get a good argument started with baseball people, and there's a divergence of opinion about whether or not bunting is easy, and you'll have people from all levels of experience in baseball that will weigh in on that. What do you think about it? Is bunting
easy?
You do. I think it's hard. So we started an argument already.
And I think the easiest pitch to bunt is a curveball.
I think bunting's hard. I think bunting's hard. Well,
Were you a position player when you didn't pitch?
No.
Maybe that's why it's hard for you.
Could be. Well, I was when in high school.
Well, that's what I meant.
Oh, yeah. You know. Too much of a power hitter to have me bunt.
Well, I understood that, but once it moved the fences beyond 120.
Yeah, different story. 3-0 on Schumacher. Cardinals with an opportunity here in the third inning to get some of those runs back. And a walk to Skip. And maybe now a crooked number. Pirates already have a crooked number, and they had 5 of them in 9 innings yesterday. 5 crooked numbers.
All I know is it added up to a whole bunch.
Well, you like to say if you score in 4 or more.
Yeah.
And then they not only did they do that, but they did it in 5, numbers. And they were all crooked numbers.
Yeah, you're going to be up there. once again, I'll tell you that when you score 5 runs, you should be able to win that ball game. Pirates have to be very happy with what they've gotten from Carson so far, but if he implodes right now, they're going to be. They will not. They will change that opinion quickly.
Strong Pirates bullpen. You really need to get to them before you get to the 6th inning or beyond. The Pirates are 32-1 when they lead after 6 innings.
And that is a very, very good stat because so many games are won and lost. Those 6th, 7th, 8th innings.
And we normally hear that stat as it relates to how many leads you lose after the 8th or after the 7th, but this is
after 6.
After 6. Glenn Hurdle, a lot of confidence in his reliever.
He's got to have the strongest jaws with all the gum chewing.
Very intense man. The 2-0 to John Jay. Out in front of the off-speed pitch, 2-1.
It's never been shy of talking.
He was a Cardinal in 1986.
I saw Clint Hurdle when he was the poster boy. Sports Illustrated, the phenom in baseball, going into spring training of 1978 with the Royals.
Ground ball to the right side. Walker to second for 1. On to first. Safe. Cardinals on the board. John Jay beats the throw. That would have been some double play. Walker going to his left. A quick turn by Barmes, but not in time to beat Jay at the bag.
It really looked like that he might have. The throw must have pulled him off first. We'll get a better look right here. See. Yeah, it does. Pulls him off the bag because the throw was actually there ahead of him. And gets some credit right there as Skip Schumacher disrupts the timing of Barmes. And the throw was good. It would have been a double play and a nifty one. As it is, the Cardinals are on the scoreboard.
John Mabry helping with that call down there at first base, making sure the umpire got that right. He's Cardinals first base coach today, and Chris Maloney is filling in for Jose Oquendo, who we understand is dealing with a illness, and be happy when Jose returns. There goes Jay, a good jump, and he is safe. And he stole that one off the pitcher Karstens with a very good jump. His 5th stolen base of the season, and good to see the Cardinals running down 4-1.
Yeah, and picks the pitcher blind. That's really inexcusable with somebody that you would look at John Jay and think that, okay, he can run. Need to pay a little more attention as he picked up his 5th steal of the year.
Check swing for Holiday, 2-1. 4-1 Pirates. 10-game homestand for the Redbirds. 3 with Pittsburgh, 4 with Colorado, and 3 with the Miami Marlins before the All-Star break. Two and 2. Cardinals are 13-13 in the month of June. Now, on one hand, you'd say, boy, it seems like it's been worse than that. On another hand, it's just hard to tell because there have been so many ups and downs.
It really has, and Cardinals made a couple moves to kind of straighten things out in the bullpen, and it's not that big of a problem when you think about Mott at the 9th inning and Boggs in the 8th inning. It's just trying to bridge the gap. But the Cardinals have lost an awful lot of games from their bullpen and a very high ERA.
And Wainwright, not a very good start for him yesterday by any measurement. And that taxes the bullpen even a little bit more. Now you're asking them to get 12 outs instead of 5 or 6. And I'm sure they weren't even expecting to have to get that many innings out of their bullpen yesterday.
Going in, I think we all liked the matchup and thought that Wainwright was on a roll, and we're going to get another 7 innings from him at least.
Base hit up the middle, Holiday. John Jay rounds third, and he will score. A 2-out hit for Holiday, RBI number 48, and it's 4-2 Pittsburgh.
So they avoid the double play, then the steal by John Jay. And then Matt Holliday has a man in scoring position. And another hard hit ball right through the middle and produces the second Cardinal run. They've cut the lead in half. They surge out to talk to Karstens, who's making his second start since coming off the disabled list. Talk to Pirates. They go, well, what do you think about Karstens? We go, we aren't sure. We haven't seen much of him. Only his 5th start of the year. Lance Lynn gave up the grand slam in the 1st inning and a couple shutout innings to get himself right back in this game.
4 strikeouts in the last 2 innings for Lynn, so maybe he's back on track. Ray Searage has gotten a lot of credit for what he has done with this Pirates pitching staff. The Pirates 4th in the National League with a 3.49 ERA as a group. And he's not afraid to go out to the mound. We saw him do that a dozen times in the series in Pittsburgh. And he has his word with Karstens, and we're ready to go with Carlos Beltran, who struck out in the 1st. Cardinals have 2 runs on just 2 hits, but looking at Karstens' pitch, it doesn't really seem to be overly sharp to me.
No. And ripe for the picking. They're going to have to leave him out there a couple more innings, so the Cardinals, I'd be very surprised if they don't at least tie this game up.
Half swing to center. McCutchen on the move, and he makes the play. McCutchen may have hurt his left wrist. He's grabbing that wrist. He does have the baseball. The Cardinals are retired here in the 3rd inning, and the Pirates fans are holding their breath. And some very good plays this inning. That's McCutchen in center. Schumacher breaking up the double play, and Holiday driving in run number 2 for St. Louis. 4-2 Pittsburgh. difference here this afternoon, the grand slam by Pedro Alvarez. We've also seen good defense in this game. Carlos Beltran, a little fly ball to shallow center. McCutchen lays out, loses his batting glove, strains his wrist, and we're going to have to see whether or not he stays in this game or not.
He's a tough little guy, and maybe as precaution they will give him a little attention, but you know, as a baseball fan, you don't want to see one of the young stars of the game injured. But boy, that was a Schnucks difference maker right there.
One more look at that play by McCutchen.
Running in really hard. He's got great speed. And you see how he put that hand down, and then kind of his momentum carries him right over, and might have been a sudden jolt to the wrist.
Schumacher retires Barmes. I've started a little battle on Twitter, Al, and right now we're even as to whether or not bunting is easy or not. We had one response. I have to agree with Al. Bunting is easy. Somebody else, I agree with you. Bunting is hard. So here we go.
Now, can I ask what their qualifications are to?
Only if you're on Twitter. You're not allowed to ask.
Oh, okay. So
you have to be. I have to get you on Twitter. This is my little ruse to get you on Twitter.
And you will never get me on Twitter. My time is so valuable.
I could tell you you're losing the little race here, and you wouldn't even know the difference.
You definitely could. And you know what?
You're okay with it.
It wouldn't bother me a bit.
Michael McHenry, the catcher. Drive into the gap. This is trouble. One hops the wall, actually bounces over the wall into the Cardinal bullpen. A one-out double. All-star voting isn't over quite yet. From Sunday, July 1st to Thursday, July 5th, you're going to be able to vote for the final player for each league roster. So check out Cardinals.com on Sunday, July 1st to see who made the team, number one, and to vote for who should get the final spot on each league roster. That could be very interesting this year. Which extra player to add?
That is always really interesting just to see the ones that qualify. But my question is, and here's one you could throw out on Twitter for you to drive yourself crazy. If the game counts, is it necessary to have a representative from every team? It'll never change, but
you're questioning whether or not it should be.
Every year you're going to have controversy, and every year somebody very deserving gets overlooked because you have to have a representative from every team. Now, sometimes it just stands out, like in McCutchen. It would be a travesty if he was not selected, and that won't happen.
Would you agree if it was an exhibition game and the game didn't count that it would be okay to have a representative of each team, but maybe things have changed some?
I think to keep everybody excited and all markets happy, you do have to have a representative. But if it's truly an all-star game, that doesn't say you have to have an all-star from every club. And I've been on clubs where they were so bad that they had to pick somebody. And that guy was puffing his chest, going, "I'm an all-star. I'm an all-star." And you go, "Yeah, you're only an all-star because nobody else was anywhere close."
Strikeout number 5 for Lance Lynn. Glad you're with us. Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Rick Horton, Al Raboski, and Jim Hayes are with you. Pirates and the Cardinals, game 2 of the 3-game weekend series. Very warm weather here in St. Louis. Pedro Alvarez, the big hit in this game so far. A grand slam that came in the first. Lance Lynn trying for his 11th victory. Matt Holliday inching the Cardinals closer with an RBI in the Cardinals' third. 4-2 Pirates.
Breaking ball is getting a little better as he's wearing down. Tony Cruz out to talk to him.
We're still tied on the bunting quiz, Al. And somebody agrees with you that you shouldn't have to have a rep from every team. But you don't know that because you're not on Twitter.
You're on Twitter, and I know just as much as you.
Good point.
Because you told me.
So you just have to know somebody. You just have to know somebody that's
who's on Twitter.
I see how you work.
You know, they can inform me.
The wisdom of Al Roboski strikes again.
I got the iPad now. I got the new iPhone, but no Twitter account or Facebook.
Watch out, world. 1-2 to Alex Presley. McHenry, the runner at second. He had a one-out double. Cardinals shallow in center. Fairly shallow in left with Holiday. Beltran the stronger arm in right. Check swing, ground ball to the left side. David Freese, very smooth to retire Presley. Lance Lynn has settled down after a rough first. Cardinals trail by 2. The National League and taking a look at their rotation, including Charlie Morton, who's currently on the disabled list. All of these pitchers have come via the trade or the free agent route.
And they have had a losing season for 19 straight seasons, and they realize that they can't do it that way. You know, that they are going to have to do it homegrown. And the last few years have spent an awful lot of money on their draft picks. Now they kind of change the rules because to make it a little more even, but they understand they have to grow from within and then maybe take some of those prospects and trade them off to somebody, pick up a key free agent here and there. But it wasn't like there was big acquisitions on that list.
No Nolan Ryan there.
No, but and A.J. Burnett has really done a nice job as he's won 8 straight starts. James McDonald, they got a very young pitcher from the Dodgers who has a electric arm. Now he's putting it together.
Ball's going to drop in front of Tabata. Base hit for Craig. Little flare the other way. Leadoff runner aboard for St. Louis in the 4th.
Cardinals just keep on pecking away. Another breaking ball that they wanted away. Stays in the middle. Didn't hit it particularly well. Matter of fact, if he would have hit it better, it would have been a fly ball out. But still in front of Tabata in right field.
Now, you mentioned A.J. Burnett, who's done so well of late. Cardinal fans will remember the start he had against Lance Lynn, where he gave up 12 runs, 12 earned runs in 2 2/3 innings earlier this season.
Well, it was a bad first inning, wasn't it? Start to it, and then he settled in. But it was too late by that time. And I mentioned that he's won 8 straight games. The last time a Pirate had won 8 straight starts was back in 1992. That was their last winning season, and they had 2 in the same month. Bob Walk, who was here as one of their broadcasters, and the other one was Doug Drabeck.
Ground ball to third, broken back. On to second for 1, and he drops it. The throw pulled Jones off the bag a little bit, and he couldn't hold on. The throw from Walker, the second baseman, must have sailed on him a bit. And a missed opportunity for Pittsburgh.
And the real shame there is David Freese was still 10 feet from the bag, so it could have taken a lot better. Look at that throw, and give Alan Craig a little credit to there, as he forced that wide throw. Still should have been caught, and Garrett Jones could have even vacated the bag and come back and touched it.
Slower the ball's hit to the left side of the infield, the more the runner has a chance to get on that guy at second base to do some damage, and that's just what Alan Craig did.
Cardinals are gaining a reputation, in my mind, that they're maybe the most aggressive going into second base that I've seen in a long time.
I would agree.
It's a good reputation to have.
Scalzo struck out to end the second. 3 strikeouts on the afternoon for Karstens. Good swing there, but he came up empty. There's a vote for bunting is easy. There's a vote for bunting is hard. There's a vote that Al should be on Twitter. I think it's a crying shame he's not.
I agree. It's a crying shame.
I like that one. 0-2 on Descalzo.
Ricky, it's only because I've got so much to say. I couldn't get it done in, what, 140 characters?
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Oh, I bet you could. I'd like to see you try.
Yeah, well, don't hold your breath.
Protecting is Daniel Descalzo. No issues for Andrew McCutchen. He's back out at center field after the diving play that he made to end the third inning. Could not check his swing on the slider down and in. Descalzo a strikeout victim again.
Slider at the back foot of a left-handed hitter. 4th strikeout, 2 times to Scott Descalzo. He's now 0 for his last 13. Tony Cruz do it again.
Doubled and scored in the third. Alan Craig led this inning off with a base hit. He was forced at second. David Freese now the runner at first. Cardinals trailing by 2 here in the 4th inning. Karstens, to me, has not been overpowering, but he's hit some spots, including that last pitch up and in on Cruz.
Sometimes you wonder, is it just end up there, or was it there by design? It's
a good question. His fastball's topping out at 90, 91. Probably average to below average for Major League pitchers in 2012.
I think now, yes. His velocity has definitely increased.
There was a time 20 years ago where they used to say that the average Major League fastball was 85 miles an hour, but I suspected they were just trying to make me feel good. You threw mid-90s?
212.
212, that's
yeah.
right. I forgot about that. Your special pitch.
You know, it wasn't so much a velocity as I had a very deceptive motion and tremendous movement.
How's your memory?
It's good on good things. Bad games, no, I forgot them all.
That's how it works. 1-2 to Cruz. Freeze the runner at first.
Do you notice the longer you're retired, the better you become?
Absolutely.
Let's go up to a batting cage and I'd see it walking up, and I'd see a hitter and say, man, this guy, he was awful tough on me. And
the 1-2. Grounded to the right side. They had it shifted up the middle, but still time to get Cruz. Karstens is through 4. And the Pirates squaring off again tomorrow. The lefty Bedard, Jake Westbrook's been pitching well of late. That's your pitching matchup, 12:30. Coverage begins on Fox Sports Midwest. Lance Lynn has settled down after a 4-run first inning. And he's looked good to me in the last 4 innings. Have you seen an adjustment that the Cardinal starters made?
almost like he's worn down a little bit to where he's staying on top of his breaking ball a little more consistently. Doing what we suggested after the grand slam in the first inning. You got to put that aside and just try and contain the Pirates from that point forward. Let your team peck away and get back in it. And that's what's happening.
Easy to say, but hard to do, isn't it?
Sure is. Of course, that doesn't apply to money. Send you to the Maury Wills School of Bunny.
Well, I just got a text from a high school coach, friend of mine, said that bunting is easy. He agrees with you, and he is no longer my friend.
He's my new friend, though. Poor guy.
Tough chore for Lynn here in the 5th inning. Tabata, McCutchen, and Jones. Fouls that one off at the plate. And for those of you wondering about pronunciation, his name is Tabata. That's how you say it, with the Latin inflection that he has asked for. But Tabata is also acceptable. Just like Beltran and Beltran, they're both correct.
Okay, Betancourt.
And Betancourt, you can say anything you want with his name, because he changes his mind every month.
People in Kansas City looked at you like you were crazy. What are you talking about? It's got a T on the end of it. Court. There you go, talking about a derogatory reference to his family.
He brought it up. Jose Tabata. Bounced out twice. .23-year-old Venezuelan.
Pirates locked up some of these young players, including Tabata.
Not really a home run hitter. Career major league average at 284, having a down year so far. Almost hit by that pitch. He's been hit 6 times this year.
Hangs out over the plate and really more diving into the ball. That ball running in on him.
The 3-2. Hit hard to center field. John Jay on the move. He's not going to be able to cut it off. He was shading him towards the right center field gap. Does get to it quickly and gets it in, so just a double for Tabata.
And by shading out in right center, it becomes a double. Playing straight away, probably cuts it off. There's a breaking ball hanging up over the middle of the plate. But it runs well and well placed for the extra base hit. You think about it, Rick, the only guy having anywhere near a career year is McCutchen, and yet we're saying that he is such a gifted player that even his start to this season isn't anything that, you know, is that much beyond his expectations.
Wonder whether McCutchen has any remnants of problem from that dive in center field when he landed on his left wrist. Haven't seen him swing the bat since then. And that didn't look right.
I think it was just the pitch kind of really locked him up. But if there is a problem with that wrist, it would show on that type of swing, and they're even going to come check him. So watch the left wrist as it kind of rolled over the top there. And then this last swing is very, very awkward. It's running inside, but and he drops that bat, and now they're paying attention to him. Just be honest.
Telling Clint Hurdle, as long as he doesn't pitch me in, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Clint's really in his face about this, isn't he? And
right.
I think that's what you need to be. It's like, tell me.
Yeah, it's like, you know, hey, I respect and admire the fact that you want to play every day and everything, but if you're going to hurt yourself, we can ill afford to have you out for an extended period of time. So
I'm a little surprised he's staying in.
I am too. I think that's kind of a decision that Clint Hurdle has to make on his own. I understand why you wouldn't want to lose him, but right now they may be able to give a little medical attention to it, preventative care, and take care of it.
Inside again. Better swing. Good play by David Freese. Didn't stop McCutcheon from hustling down the line, did it?
Not at all. See him shaking out that left wrist a little bit, but obviously his legs are okay, and he just really admire a young player that wants to play hard and really wants to display their skills.
It's where the trainers really have to be a good psychologist too, don't they? Not just where's it hurt, but talk to me.
Well, maybe you thought they needed to be psychologists. I always thought psychiatrists.
In some cases, yes, Al.
Sometimes a priest, sometimes a bully, sometimes. I mean, that is so true.
Cardinals deep in the outfield for Garrett Jones. .95 pitches on the afternoon. A very warm afternoon. Temperatures close to 100 for Lance Lynn.
Hard to think that he'd throw much more than this inning. Mitchell Boggs was talking with Jim Hayes, talking about the heat. He says, hey, we play baseball in the summertime. It's supposed to be hot. The more you think about it, the more trouble you're in. Both touched on a little bit last night that used to be a psychological advantage for Cardinals. Visiting teams come in here not accustomed to the heat of St. Louis, day games, and they would be the ones always complaining, wilting, where you just kind of went about your business, but didn't think about it much. Let the other team complain.
Felt like a 5 or 10 game a year advantage.
It's like Derek Lilquist out again to talk to him. It's his third walk, along with 6 hits.
Lance Lynn in search of his 11th victory here this afternoon. Could he be going to the All-Star game? Stars will align for the 2012 Major League Baseball All-Star game as the best of the American League takes on the National League's top players. Don't miss the action Tuesday, July 10th at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox.
Surprised, no activity in the Cardinal bullpen?
Yes, with the pitch count.
Now they're starting to stir, and looks like somebody's getting up.
There's your power at work again. 4-2 Pirates. Lynn needs a 0 this inning. Ground ball, fair. Past the bag at third, and the Pirates are going to add on. Neil Walker slides into second as he pokes a double to left. RBI for him, and it's now 5-2 Pittsburgh.
Don't really want to swing. And just guided that ball just inside the third base bag for the RBI double, his 34th RBI. And watch this. Not even as near the strike zone. Defensive swing, and it pays off. David Freese way off the line at third base, and he had no chance to get near it.
No surprise here. First base is open. They're going to walk Pedro Alvarez.
Marte warming up for the Cardinals.
Precisely the kind of situations we've seen Marte this year.
Well, they like him coming in the middle of an inning, cleaning it up, and turning it over to a fresh reliever. We'll see if it's after this intentional pass or not.
Tweet from Hannibal, Missouri. Bunting is hard, but we love Al and Hannibal. Anyway.
Thank you. That'd be hard to bunt in Tom Sawyer's cave.
Agreed. Bunting is easy unless somebody like Al Roboski's throwing at you.
That could make it harder.
Lance Lynn needs a ground ball here. Barmes at the plate. Strike one. Good pitch there from Lance Lynn.
You just got to think he's at 106 pitches. Some people believe that his calling eventually would be as a closer, so you kind of reach into that psychology of a.
There's a ground ball to short. To second for one. On to first. Not in time. Bang, bang play. Barmes beats it.
Just wasn't really hit that hard.
So the Cardinals do the same thing with John Jay. Ball not hit quite hard enough. Produced a run. Same thing happens here. Descalzo quick hands. Schumacher quick hands. Good call.
Bang, bang play there, but safe. Another RBI for Barmes. He's at 18.
6-2 Pirates.
Now, if you're Marte, you know you're ready, and going to let him face the 8th place hitter.
McHenry doubled in the 4th, was left stranded there, also struck out in the 2nd. Lynn ahead of him 0-2. And Lynn strikes out McHenry. Probably his last pitch of the afternoon. The Cardinals are going to have to do some work to get him off the hook. Baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By Ford, the official vehicles of the Cardinals. And by the State of Missouri Tobacco Quit Line. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Temperatures have now reached 101 here at Busch Stadium. The humidity at 26%. A little bit of wind, thankfully. And the forecast is sunny and hot. Cardinals need to do some work offensively to get back in this game. A 4-run Pirate first, 2 more in the 5th. They trail Pittsburgh 6-2. Shane Robinson, the pinch hitter. Flares one to right. Out number 1.
Looks like we're going to see a major league debut.
Lance Lynn, 109 pitches in 66 of them strikes. And there's a look at
Barrett Browning. Recalled today along with Michael Clato. Lance Lynn, he's through 5 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs, all earned.
Schumacher flies out, so 2 quick outs for the Cardinals here in the 5th inning.
3rd consecutive game. Lance can't be real happy with his performance. But that's part of it too. When you're having such a great season, you got to learn how to deal with adversity, overcome it, make adjustments, whatever. Get back to your winning ways.
We've already found out that Joe Kelly is not really related to Machine Gun Kelly.
No.
And so our next
What
question,
about Grace?
but nor Grace Kelly. But the next question, we got to get Jim Hayes on it. Is Barrett Browning related or named after Elizabeth Barrett Browning? Inquiring minds want to know. We'll get Jim Hayes on that. Of course, you know her.
Machine Gun.
Prominent Victorian era poet. You know Elizabeth Barrett Browning.
Well, I'm not quite the poetic fan that you are, Shakespeare.
That's all I know.
By the way, you're a doctor, you're Shakespearean. What other characters do you play in the postgame show?
That's about it. It's Dr. Horton. That's where we've kind of narrowed it down to that.
You were Shakespeare too, weren't you?
Yes, I was. TV magic. Quick inning for the Cardinals. Jay bounces out onto the 6th. Cardinals trail 6-2. Ages 15 and younger entering with a ticket will receive a Cardinals t-shirt, compliments of Ice Mountain. A great new t-shirt to wear to Cardinal games all season long. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com. Ice Mountain, that's a nice thought here on a warm St. Louis afternoon. 6-2 Pirates. And we have a major league debut for you. The left-hander, Barrett Browning, was acquired from the California Angels as a Rule 5 minor league draft choice, a 1.89 ERA in AAA Memphis. And as Al's already told you, he was an all-star representing the Cardinals in the AAA All-Star game, and he's from Brunswick, Georgia.
27 years of age, been around a while. We might clarify, because you hear the Rule 5, you always hear the guy has to be with the club the whole year. That's if you're drafted, you know, at the Major League Rule 5. He was a minor league Rule 5, so probably we was left on a AA roster by the Angels. The Cardinals selected him in the AAA Rule 5 pick, so a good opportunity for him. He said he was a little surprised by it, but I'm sure he was very happy, and didn't take him long to get here, did it? It's a lot easier to, very quick to get to St. Louis.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it takes you the full 72 hours you're allowed to go down.
Can't blame him.
Not a hard thrower, but a lot of experience in the minor leagues. Has a very good breaking ball, and they feel that that will be the pitch to counteract left-handed batters.
And if he can do that, if he can get left-handers out consistently, you have a job. 0-2 to Karstens, the pitcher. His major league debut, he gets to pitch to a pitcher.
It's okay. Maybe not that you want to be disrespectful to a pitcher. You always have to respect everybody in that batter's box, unless Ricky's bunting. And you know you got an easy out. See a change up here.
Get on the ground to third. Barrett Browning is now officially a big leaguer. Gets his first out. Good for him. Throws that baseball out, and I don't blame him. He'll get cataloged. I hope he's not going to miss those two balls up. It's the one on the right. Right?
Authenticator right there. Browning is Florida State University, and they'll put the details on that. Baseball listed at, in the media guide, 6'2", 205. That was a little different what the 170 we showed, which I thought was a little slight.
You mentioned not a hard thrower. We've seen that already here, but really the key to pitching at any level, but especially the higher level, is having command. He did early in his career in the minor leagues walk a lot better. Command seems good so far. 1-2 to Presley.
And he's got to be pretty familiar with this part of the country. Has spent parts of 3 years at Arkansas, pitching for the AA affiliate of the Angels, and then last year in parts of 010 with Salt Lake AAA.
Slider strikes out Presley. That's his first strikeout. Let's throw that ball out too. First out, now first strikeout on the slider.
Good break to it, kept it down.
And they're now busy cataloging that baseball. Let's see now. This one was the out. That one was the strikeout. Are you sure?
Did they miss anything?
I don't think so.
Tony Cruz threw that one out.
Now, wait a minute. He's got all three of them in his hand at one time. What's he doing?
He's going, well,
Eeny, meeny.
He's going to flip a coin.
Let's see. That one was, let's see.
Good inning.
Way to go. Barrett Browning, 1, 2, 3 inning in his major league debut. That leads us to our AT&T trivia question. Who were the last three Cardinals to make the All-Star team in their very first full season, not rookie season, but full season as a Cardinal? Albert Pujols, Willie McGee in 1983, and Gary Templeton back in 1977.
Templeton that year had 100 hits from each side of the plate. That doesn't happen often.
Lance Lynn with 10 victories. Maybe on the bubble, on the edge of being an all-star. And he could be added to that list quite possibly.
Dickey, R.A. Dickey leads the major leagues in wins. I think he won 12th last night. But there's 5 other National Leaguers with 10 wins, right?
Bumgarner won his 10th. Gio Gonzalez for the Nationals has 10 victories. Flair to right. That's going to be a base hit. Cole Hamels is a 10-game winner with the Phillies. So 4 at 10 wins behind Dickey.
And Lance Lynn. Right? I got you.
4 including Lance Lynn.
It'd be very hard for him to what he's done in the last 3 games. And
right.
When his ERA was so good, then he had a more legitimate shot.
Carlos Beltran will be at the All-Star game representing the Cardinals and the National League. 7-game hitting streak on the line and 7 straight games where he's driven in a run. Not wearing his sunglasses for this at-bat, as he did in the first 2 at-bats. Vision so important for Major League Baseball hitter, pitcher as well, but particularly for a hitter.
Hand-eye coordination.
Karstens has allowed just 4 Cardinal hits working here in the 6th. 79 pitches.
And look at the pitch count still down, and have to be very happy from what they've received from him. And you would think this would probably be his last inning of work. They're hoping that he can get through it unscathed.
Fly ball to center field. Beltran 0 for 3. This July, don't miss the biggest event of the summer. Baseball's greatest stars are going to battle for home field advantage in the Fall Classic. The road to the World Series begins with the 2012 MLB All-Star Game. All-Star Game is Tuesday, July 10th at 6:30 on Fox.
Jared Hughes, right-hander, warming up for the Pirates.
Craig pops up on the infield. Who wants it? Barmas does. David Freese having a solid season for the Cardinals, batting average in the 280s for much of the year. 0 for 2 here this afternoon.
8-game hitting streak on the line, with came in with a 406 average during those 8 games.
Kyle Loesch and Jaime Garcia.
I mean, he's starting to inch closer to picking up a baseball and throwing it off the mound. I understand that may happen on Tuesday.
Pirates are 21-11 over the last 5 weeks.
Very good baseball, and pretty much all season long they've had pretty good consistent pitching, or good enough. But now all of a sudden their offense is starting to take shape, and we touched on in this series that Clint Hurdle's has some very reliable arms down that bullpen. If they get a lead, they can close it out.
David Freese strikes out on a breaking ball. Strikeout number 5 for Karstens. Our Schnook's difference maker here this afternoon is the Pirates center fielder Andrew McCutchen, and we'll take a look at his day.
You know what he can do with the bat. It was 4 for 5 last night, including a 3-run home run. He's got a couple hits here today, but he made an outstanding play and saved a run or two with this catch. Thought he might have sprained his wrist, but he has stayed in this ball game. Truly one of the better young players in all of baseball.
Six for 8 in the series.
23 home runs, 89 RBIs a year ago. And just a 259 average.
And a test for the rookie Barrett Browning, working his first game as a major leaguer. He'll have 3, 4, 5 for the Pirates. And he's in because the left-handers are coming up this inning, no doubt. But he's got to get through this guy, and it looks like he just did. 4 straight. Our Toyota keys to the game. A look at the Cardinal bullpen. Again, a couple of changes in that bullpen today on the personnel side, but the numbers really not good since the 24th of June.
17 earned runs in 15 plus innings. So Cardinals made a couple changes. Browning was added to the roster today. Plato returns to St. Louis. Sanchez and Freeman go down to Memphis.
We've heard it said often in baseball over the years that there are just times you got to do something.
Yep. Casey McGee will pinch hit for the left-handed hitting Garrett Jones. He had an RBI base hit off the Freeman last night. Kind of a little platoon going with the Pirates at first base between Jones and McGee.
Fastball at just 85, but he has a little life on it, little movement.
Hits the spots. And once again, you know, better be able to get right-handed batters out if you're going to come in and face lefties, because oftentimes they'll pinch hit for them. And the guys that do stay in face of Koufax and Carlton. Warren Spahn.
1-2 to McGee. Breaking pitch just misses the outside corner. Back door closed.
You don't have to have the best stuff in the world if you have location. Movement and location are more important than velocity. Looks like another pitch that does not go his way. The last two could have been strikes.
Ground ball to the left side, deep in the hole is Descalzo. Strong arm throws him out.
Real test of a utility guy is, can they play shortstop? Well, we found out that Descalzo is much more than just a utility man, and defense is his forte. Backed up on that ball and had the arm strength to throw him out. Turn Walker around. They can hit from the right side.
Ground ball to to the right side. Very good debut for Barrett Browning. Prior to the Cardinals game, enjoy free frozen treats and win fun prizes, and that is in the Ford Plaza, courtesy of North Star. For ticket information, visit Cardinals.com. Casey McGee stays in the game at first base. Presley moves from left field to center field.
Andrew Sutton.
Andrew Sutton's the left fielder.
A little surprised Carson's still in this ball game.
I am.
This heat. Only his second start since coming off the disabled list.
You mentioned his pitch count was low last inning.
Yeah, it's only 85,
something
but
to do with it.
Trying to win for the first time this season. His fifth start overall, second since returning the DL. They have to be thrilled for what he's done so far.
Descalzo struck out twice. He is now 0 for his last 13. Surprisingly so.
Well, he's played so well defensively. And I didn't really pay attention to what he's done offensively, and has 3 strikeouts tonight now.
Very unusual for Descalzo.
6 on the afternoon for Parsons, just threading the needle right on the black, down and away.
Cruz bounces out, swinging at the first pitch. He's now 1 for 3, and the Cardinals' bats have gone very quiet since the third.
Matt Carpenter is going to pinch hit here for Browning. What a nice job he did. 6 up, 6 down in his major league debut.
How do we love thee, Barrett Browning? Let me count the ways. That, of course, is one of your favorite poems of Elizabeth Barrett Browning.
It was. Oh, it is now.
But you got to love what he was able to do in the Cardinal bullpen. Really has struggled of late. In 2 solid innings for Browning, giving way to Matt Carpenter.
And Cueto warming up in the Cardinal bullpen, so seen him in the past, but he returns to the big club and See if he can give him a little shot in the arm too. Difference in this ball game is the grand slam by Alvarez in the first inning.
Carson's not overpowering, but he has had good sink on his fastball. That's been the difference. Bit of a wild swing there for Carpenter, who's normally not a big swinger, not a long swing guy, but off balance for sure. The 1-2.
He's had that breaking ball. Really kind of going to the back foot of these left-handed batters. Tony Watson, a lefty, warming up behind Karstens in their bullpen. Whether they use Grilly in the 8th inning, you know, they've got a lot of good arms down there yet for the Cardinals to see.
Off balance swing again. Another strikeout. Big hit of this game came a couple hours ago, and it was off the bat of Pedro Alvarez. A 3-2 pitch, a long one, gave the Pirates the early lead, and they still have it. Sports Midwest, the Cardinals trailing 6-2. Let's go to Pat Paris in our studio with this Bommarito Sports update. Pat? Thanks, Pat. Appreciate the update. A lot of Cardinal fans still following both Albert Pujols and Colby Rasmus, so I appreciate that update. Our Mid-America Chevy dealers call to the bullpen.
Cueto, this season is appearing for the 5th time. He was recalled today from AAA. He was optioned on June 17th for the 2nd time. And during that recent time in Memphis, he had a 1.50 ERA in 5 games, covering 6 innings, fanning 7. Overall in Memphis this year, 2-1 with a 3.94 ERA in 27 games.
Breaks his bat, strike one. Alvarez now with 15 RBIs on the season against St. Louis.
15 of 44, so about a third. Cueto, a hard thrower, and you see they've done April and May. They had 38 home runs here in June. They've already hit 39. Hit home runs in 8 straight games. Tato, a hard thrower that the Cardinals acquired in the Brendan Ryan deal. Some of the Cardinal fans still keep track of Brendan.
Absolutely.
See if he can get to the Mendoza line.
Really has struggled offensively this year. Good pitch from Cueto, and he strikes out Alvarez. We are at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Pirates and the Cardinals. 4-run first for Pittsburgh is the difference. Rick Horton, Al Hrabosky, and Jim Hayes with you, and a reminder of the National League Central standings. Pirates just a game behind Cincinnati. Cardinals beginning play 2.5 games out.
They're underway in San Francisco. Cincinnati and the Giants are scoreless. Reds are batting at the top of the 3rd. That's Matos against Zito.
Just reminded how much of a grind the season can be for players, but really for fans too. I mean, we've seen some rough losses for the Cardinals, and you start to get kind of worn out by that or down, and the loss last night was certainly a tough one to take. But you think 2.5 games out in the month of June after what happened last year?
Oh, absolutely.
We don't need to worry, but we do need to fix some things. Barmes is hit.
Plenty of game left, and but they're a little alarming what's happened with the bullpen.
Right.
That can be fixed. Got a chance, within a month or 2 months that you could get Lance Berkman, you get Jaime Garcia and Chris Carpenter back.
That would certainly change the complexity of the Cardinal rotation or the composition, I should say, of the Cardinal rotation if Chris Carpenter comes back, and start thinking about likely candidates to go to the bullpen. Maybe Joe Kelly would be one.
You just kind of wonder about those things, I'm kind of wondering, is there something that's going on with Clint Hurdle's bench that we're not aware of, as Brad Lincoln, one of their pitchers, is swinging it back. They've got 3 extra men that are still available on that bench. So are they all available? Maybe not.
McHenry strikes out. Good pitch from Cueto. Well, you can see where Rod Barajas may not be available. He had been out most of the week with a knee issue. Played yesterday for the first time, so they may be resting him. But
Fryer and Harrison.
Fryer and Harrison are also available. Good question.
Watson, their lefty, will be coming in and pitching the Cardinal 8th.
Lincoln was a 300 hitter at the University of Houston.
They're trying to figure out where his role lies. He's kind of been 50-50 in the rotation, and he's pitched very, very well in relief.
So a good inning for Cueto. Cardinals have 2 more chances. Fritz has to like what he's seen so far in this series. His team won big here last night, and they lead going into the bottom of the 8th inning. Clint has gone to his bullpen. The lefty is Tony Watson.
35th game, he's 4-0, ERA at 3.70. Twice as many strikeouts as walks. Did allow 1 run while not retiring any of the 3 batters on Wednesday. And he's inherited 37 runners. That's the most in the major leagues.
Facing the pinch hitter Tyler Green. Green, Jay, and Holiday for the Cardinals here in the 8th. Time to get something going here.
I mean, Watson, we said he's inherited 37 runners, most, and that first batter faced is so important. He's been very good. He's retired 28 of 34. Has allowed 3 home runs, and opponents are batting just .221 against him.
Green and Jay, very important for them to get on in front of Holiday, Beltran, and Craig. Cardinals want to get back in this. Ground ball to the left side. Alvarez, even though he has 13 errors on the season, throws out Tyler Green. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. John Jay looking for his first hit. He reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd and promptly stole second. Scored on a base hit by Matt Holliday.
Tony's from Sioux City, Iowa. Resides now in Omaha, Nebraska. 9th round selection of the Pirates in 2007. Pitched 43 games last year for the Pirates. ERA under 4, 2-2 record.
They mentioned the Pirates 32-1 when they lead after 6 innings. That's the story here in game 2.
Watson won the Bob Feller Award as the Iowa High School Pitcher of the Year in 2003, throwing 3 no-hitters and compiling. How about this?
How about that? Just inside the bag at third. 1-out double. Very similar to the ball that Neil Walker hit early on.
Right. There you see off the line, just over the bag. So extra bases all over it. Let's see. Tony Watson in high school set a record for Iowa with a 0.10 ERA. He was 29-9 in high school and fanned 613 batters, the most by a high school pitcher in Iowa since Cal Eldred in the mid-'80s.
I felt that was coming.
Cal Eldred reference. Nice going, Cal.
Line drive to right, down the right field line, slicing, foul.
How foul was it? Wow. That would have been nice, but just to the right of the foul pole. Jared Hughes, right-hander, warming up quickly for the Pirates.
You assume that Clint Hurdle is allowing Watson to pitch to Holiday just so he can face Beltran.
Turn Beltran around, and that would make sense, and especially with the score 6-2. But they're running a gamble that you only have one lefty.
Watson ahead 0-2 to Holiday. Always in a pitcher's mind, 0-2. Do you waste a pitch? Do you go right at him?
Red Cheney's used to have a $50 fine for giving up an 0-2 base hit. Bob Gibson always wanted to know if he could get credit for 0-2 outs.
I bet that was an interesting conversation.
It's kind of one-sided.
The 1-2. Now 2-2. Sometimes you waste one, then maybe try to pick a little, and next thing you know, you let the hitter right back into the count.
Well, and a lot of times too, you're sitting there saying, okay, I'll waste this one, then I'm going to do this, and then I'll get you out with this one, and you don't get to that one because you didn't put 100% concentration behind the pitches ahead of it.
Holiday's ready.
Spoiled a good pitch. The more pitches you see, the more you get an idea to lock in on the velocity, get an idea what the movement looks like. Those are things I feel you can't really simulate watching video. But when you're standing there, you got to be able to trust your own instincts and your eyes.
Holiday trying to zero in on Watson. The 2-2. In the dirt. Holiday already has a 2-hit afternoon. He's also walked. His average climbing. Now at 308.
It's all said and done. His numbers were always going to be reflective of one of the best hitters in the game. Really improved defensively since he's been here in St. Louis.
There goes the runner. It's a swing and a foul tip held onto by McHenry. A stolen base for Jay. Wonder about the advantage of stealing a base on a 3-2 count with one out as a potential distraction to the hitter.
Yeah, and I mean, I'd like to think that you're a great hitter. You've so zoned in on the release point.
Right.
But you do hear some hitters say, you know, it's a distraction, and now they struck out. It's a good move. But if Holiday hits the ball, puts it in play and goes through, you know, he's going to score from second base. So sometimes you wonder what's the risk. It's a big body to throw around too.
Just wonder the reward that goes along with the risk isn't that big. I think he'd score anyway, as you say, and if he's getting to third base with one out, that's a different story.
Yeah, and that's like Lou Brock would rarely ever attempt stealing third. Because his feeling was, I'm going to score on any base hit, so why take that risk?
Nice block by the catcher McHenry, and that was almost a reason why he should be a third. As the ball's in the dirt, it gets away.
It's obvious he's more ways to score from third base.
Seven-game hitting streak, 7-game RBI streak on the line with Beltran.
Well, he's going to pick it up here.
Good swing, fouls it back.
Carlos, right-handed, 265, 5 home runs, 13 RBIs. Left-handed, 327, 15 home runs and 47 RBIs. So obviously making the right choice, trying to turn him around.
Hard hit to left. On the run is a left fielder. He's not going to get it. Off the base of the wall. And it comes way out to center field. Finally run down by Presley. And Carlos Beltran now has hit in 8 straight and driven runs in 8 straight.
Tried to move inside, didn't get it far enough in. And Beltran hits that right off the base of the wall. I got away from him, but I don't think the, you know, it's 6-3 now. You don't want to go to trying to push it to third and run the risk of running into an out. So Tony Watson is through, and Jarrett Hughes will be coming in. Another tough right-hander.
Cardinals inching closer here in the bottom of the 8th. An important run at second in Carlos Beltran. Pirates pitcher to face Alan Craig. On in relief of Tony Watson, who's given up a couple doubles in this inning, John Jay and Carlos Beltran. Beltran the runner at second. I mentioned Craig has hit the Pirates well, over .390 in his career. And he's going to try to keep it moving here in the eighth.
Beltran extends his hitting streak and RBI streak to 8. Leads the National League with his 61 RBIs. Jared Hughes had some pretty good teammates at Long Beach State University. Left side of the infield was pretty good with Tulowitzki and Longoria.
I'll say. Hughes leads all National League rookies with his 30 appearances, and a tight spot for him here. He's done well. The 1-0. Ground ball to short. Broken back. Barmes has it, and he throws out Craig. Cardinals pick up 1, trail by 3 going to the 9th.
Is coming up after the game on the post-game edition of Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live. Pat Paris will be joined by Al Roboski. One pitch proves costly for Lance Lynn. They'll break it down. We'll have Cardinal player reaction straight from the clubhouse and another edition of Mike Up. All that and more coming up after the game. For now, we send it back to the booth and Rick and Al, guys.
Thanks, Jim. Great job. Victor Marte will pitch the 9th inning for St. Louis. 3 solid bullpen innings so far here this afternoon. It'll be up to Marte to keep this a 3-run Cardinal deficit. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by Taco Bell. Live Moss. Marte has done a nice job out of the Cardinal bullpen all season long. Tyler Green stays in to play second base. He hit for Schumacher. Top of the order for the Pirates. Presley, Tabata, and Sutton. There's a bunt attempt. Cruz has it. You better hurry. Not in time. bunt hit for Presley to lead off the ninth. Good speed, good bunt.
Ups it down right here, gets into the grass. Tony Cruz pounces on it, but Presley with that great speed just outruns it. Nothing more Cruz could have done. Got out of the circle, and it was pretty much a base hit.
Presley already has a stolen base, and he's got a big lead.
Played by Whitey Herzog.
I saw that, number 24.
Yeah.
And he used two hands. You notice that? And Willie McGee,
and no glove, right? Don't rub it. That was a screamer, and he just reached up and hauled it in. Nice going, Whitey.
In the dirt, gets away from Cruz. Presley advances. Cardinals in danger of giving that run right back here in the top of the ninth.
Bunt, now wild pitch. Marte won Sunday in Kansas City, and then on Monday was the winning pitcher in Miami.
Tabatas squared to bunt. He's not sure about the bunt. He's halfway in. Now he charges. The ball is bunted back to Marte, and he throws out Tabatas. Successful sacrifice. Advances Presley to third.
Marte almost took a little bit too much time on this, and then fires it over there.
Infield in now for the Cardinals. Drew Sutton, his first at bat. He replaced McCutchen. Lines that pitch foul, and McCutchen was taken out, we're told, with a strain in his wrist. I guess he'll be questionable for tomorrow. Really been a thorn in the Cardinals' side this series.
Evaluated, and Pirate standpoint, they're hoping it's nothing serious. Sutton was acquired off waivers from Tampa Bay Sunday. .271, I think, with Tampa Bay, but it was like 18 games, and I noticed, he had committed 3 errors in 18 games. That was the only really blemish.
Cardinals way in on the infield because of the speed of Presley. They can't be halfway in, they're all the way in. Almost on the grass. Cannot allow another run to be scored. Try to cut this run down. Presley's going to try to get as big a break as he can. And you wonder whether he'll just go on contact or not. Sometimes you force the issue when you've got a guy with speed at third. The normal rule would be wait for it to get through the infield.
Sure. They already have a 3-run lead with 1 inning to go.
Possibility of a squeeze play. always exists. There's a ground ball to the left side. Play at the plate. It'll be close. He's safe. Descalzo took a chance. The ball was hit to his right. Good strong throw, but there's the speed and the break of Presley that makes it 7-3 Pirates.
Daniel has played it to the side and a couple steps and then tries to get it in there as quick as possible, but Presley going on contact, able to slide right around the left leg of Tony Cruz, and clearly he was safe.
Fielder's choice and an RBI for Sutton.
Now that it's not a save situation, we'll see if Hanrahan, who was warming up, see if he'll continue. Or will they leave Jared Hughes in there?
That would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Ground ball left side. Descalzo has it. Long throw across the diamond, and he gets McGee. Had to double clutch a bit and make a long throw. Out number 2. Victor Marte, the 4th Cardinal pitcher here this afternoon. Lance Lynn was the starter, and he's on the hook for a loss. 10-3 is his record. He went 5 innings and gave up 6 Pirate runs. 4 of them came in the first. Then Barrett Browning, his major league debut, went 2 hitless innings. Michael Clado struck out the side in the 8th. And now it's Victor Marte in the 9th.
With that good splitter, combat left-hand batters. Had 31 saves last year for Memphis. No kid. He's 31 years of age and acquired from Kansas City. Still hard to believe the price tag was a single $1.
Good deal.
Then I was even more surprised when Ned Yost told me. He said, I said, Marte's done a nice job for Mike Matheny. He said, he did a nice job for me. And you sell him off for $1.
Been worth every penny.
Honored of it. Shrewd deal by Sean Mozela.
And I'm sure his wheels are still turning.
You know they are.
As the calendar turns over to July tomorrow.
If the Cardinals had a 10-game lead, they would still be turning.
Right.
And your work is never done, and you have no off season either. That is a full-time job being a general manager of the ball club today.
You're either working to keep players or to get players.
Even guys you may like the guy you acquire better. Constantly trying to improve your ball club. And playing dad on occasion.
Part of it. manager's job is never done either. He's trying to find the right combination of that bullpen. He works with the general manager, John Mozeliak, to help construct this team. And Mike's job's not over either. At the end of this ball game, he's going to be speaking to the crowd here for Christian Day. Mike, the featured speaker.
You know, and be interesting to see how much more Mike is learning about his responsibility and his duties. You know, a very conscientious player and cared an awful lot, but you still get a little tunnel vision. And now when you're trying to hold the reins on all 25 of your members and the entire organization, there's a heck of a lot more responsibility that you probably didn't think about.
Mike, the youngest manager in Major League Baseball, currently at 41.
And I think he'll be managing a long time where
I agree.
He might even get to the point where he's the oldest.
Cardinals with one more chance. Daniel Descalzo's play in the hole. Long throw, gets McGee. Athleticism, he had a double clutch, but he got the job done. 7-3 Pirates. Cardinals in danger of losing this series unless they come up with a big rally in the bottom of the ninth inning. Freeze, Descalzo, and Tony Cruz. Cardinals still have both Yadier Molina and Rafael Furcal on their bench. Hughes back out for the bottom of the ninth. He came on to retire Alan Craig in the eighth. So the Pirates have decided not to go with their closer unless there's trouble. Cardinals hoping there is trouble. Eight-game hitting streak on the line for David Freese here in the ninth. Ground ball to the right side. Perfectly playing. On the shift is Neil Walker. One out in the ninth. Jeff Karstens is our Budweiser player of the game. 95 solid pitches from him. Just 4 hits in 7 innings.
Yeah, very surprising. The Cardinals didn't do more with him, and you got to give Carson some credit. The Pirates weren't sure what they were going to get for him, and I know They have to be very pleased with what they saw from Carson's, only making his second start since coming off the disabled list. Been on there for about 2 months. 5th start overall.
Pirates just a game behind the Cincinnati Reds. Reds leading the Giants 1-0 that game in the 5th inning. We know the Pirates had a good start last year and then maintained it for a while and then fell apart. They're actually a little better off than they were same time last year.
I remember late before they had that fall off, they were in first place. And Clint Hurdle feels that that's not going to happen this year, that they learned from that experience. They got a little more depth. Their pitching staff is better. And we'll see, but trying to break the longest losing streak in North American sports history, 19 years without a winning record.
Ground ball to the right side, and they have to be handled by the pitcher at the bag. Nicely done. 2 ground outs, and now the Cardinals down to their last out, and it's Tony Cruz. Cruz doubled and scored in the 3rd. Cardinals not a lot of offense here today. 2 runs in that 3rd inning, 1 in the 8th. And there's Yadier Molina in case Cruz can get aboard. Fans would love to see Yadi hit.
Let's see if Cruz can extend it and bring up Yadi, but just get you a little more frustrated. How much closer? A little credit to the fans that have stuck around through this heat and watched this entire ball game.
No question. Broken bat to 3rd. Alvarez on 1 hop. Low throw. McKee digs it. This ball game is over. Cardinals drop 2 straight to the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Well, frustrating as the Cardinals coming home, this great environment, big crowds, and laid an egg the first 2 games. But there is tomorrow, and hopefully the Cardinals can come back out and salvage 1 game in the series.
The fans are going to show up, and so are the Cardinals tomorrow. Don't go away. The Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live postgame show is coming up next.